There is nothing more frustrating than trying to become the new version of you and being held hostage by people who are only going to hold you to who you used to be. Hey guys, and welcome back to Her Revision Podcast, the podcast for women who are rewriting the stories that they tell themselves and that the world tells them. My name is Jasmine Lashae. I'm your host, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to get into something that I know everybody has experienced, especially if you are one who is continuously trying to elevate herself and be the best version of yourself, and you have people around you who may have, been in your life from when you were a child or high school, college, whatever the case may be, who have experienced different stages of you. I specifically want to talk about the people that won't let you grow. And it's such a frustrating thing to me, and I've seen this I think up and down my timeline on TikTok a few times that people have had this conversation. But how many of you have experienced people in your life, whether it be a family member or an old friend or current friend, whatever the case may be, that are holding you to who you used to be? And it's so frustrating because it doesn't give you the autonomy to become the best version of yourself. Or let me switch that up. You can still become the best version of yourself, but it does have you overthinking, am I worthy of change? Will anybody see the change? Do they think I'm pretending? And let me be the first to tell you, if you decide you want to change your life or change who you've been or change certain actions of yours over and over again, you can. I had a lot of growing pains. I will be the first to say I have had a lot of growing pains. And by that, I mean there are certain versions of myself that, y'all, if I could write in the Bible, take them back, I would. But I do know that they did help foster the person and the woman that I am today. So unfortunately, I can't take them back. There are times when I wasn't the best friend. There are times when I probably wasn't the best partner. There are times when I wasn't the best daughter or family member. There are things I might have said or done that hurt somebody else, or I made stupid decisions in my life that people might have judged me for, made fun of me for. And quite frankly, sometimes when you are surrounded by people who only have experienced one version of you, it can be hard for them to grasp the concept that you can change, that you can evolve. And I'm here to tell you, you do not have to stay stuck in that old version of yourself to appease or make yourself more palatable to others who can't see who you are trying to become, who won't get with the program. You can become whoever you want to be. If a month ago you made a decision that kind of wasn't the smartest or something that you're not proud of, and this month you decide, I'm never doing that again, or I'm going to change that about myself, or I don't want to think like that anymore. Do it. Be it. Change it. It gets harder when somebody doesn't allow you to evolve. It does make growth that much harder. It does. I can understand how growth does become that much harder when the people around you don't allow you to evolve. And I guess what I'm really trying to say is it is okay if you feel like those relationships don't align with your lifestyle anymore. We feel the need and have this thing on us where we feel guilty or we feel like we're being fake or we're not, being a good person or a good friend if we no longer feel the same way about the people that we used to surround ourselves with. And maybe it's a silent shift where like the conversations don't hit the same, or y'all really don't have much to talk about, or everything y'all talk about has nothing to do with growth, has nothing to do with elevation. It's kind of like old, like conversations that probably suited your old self, but now that you are on a different wavelength, now that you think about things, have experienced things, and want to become a better person, those conversations don't really hit the same. Very much understandable. And I feel like everybody that's listening now has been through that. It does hit like a silent shift. Maybe you don't feel as poured into as you used to, or maybe you don't feel as poured into as you'd like. A lot of the times when we weren't this version of ourselves, we didn't realize how maybe the friendship might have been a little lopsided. Maybe they talked about themselves all the time, or it was always drama, or whatever the case may be, and now you're on another wavelength, and it just doesn't hit the same. And this isn't to say that those people around you or those relationships, you have to like cut them off cold turkey, or, you're a bad person for feeling this way. But at some point, you have to decide if you are going to continue living in a state of lack or a version of the old you. Because when you have those moments, or if you've ever felt this way before, you cannot tell me that it doesn't start to feel like you guys have a friendship only based on history or only out of obligation and not out of connection. Not because you guys connect on this new level, not because you guys are experiencing each other on like a new wave or new growth. More so, y'all are friends because y'all always have been. Y'all are friends because X amount of years have been in between y'all, whatever the case may be. And quite frankly, the older I got, the more I realized I don't care how long we've been friends. If we are not on the same, I don't even want to say level, because I hate the ideology that you and your friends have to be doing the same thing. And that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is it has to make sense. My friends and I don't have to be on the same walk of life, but our mentality in terms of growth and betterment of each other and of selves have to be there for me to feel comfortable. I can't be around people who only talk about drama, who are always in some shit, who only want to gossip. And what are you trying to do with your life? Do you pour into me like I pour into you? Are we pouring into each other equally? Or is it just a matter of convenience? I can't have friends of convenience. I can't. And maybe it's because of me getting older or whatever the case may be, but it just doesn't suit me, right? It doesn't seem genuine. So that's why I say it is okay to feel like that connection no longer suits you. That's okay. Even more so, what can make it, because I know that this is something that's rooted in guilt and feeling guilty that you feel this way. And that's what makes it even more confusing, because sometimes that shift or the way that you feel about those relationships is not even something that you can explain for real. Maybe it's not like something specific happened as the reason why you don't feel the same about those relationships. It could just be a feeling. It could just feel different. And I get it. And I'll give you an example. Case in point, I used to have this friend years and years ago that I loved very deeply. But every time we talked and, we caught up, it was always some mess going on, to the point where it's like we didn't have any conversations that were about, and I don't want you to get this confused or think that every conversation that I have with my friends are all like, how are you elevating? How are you? No, but it's only so much messy shit I can take, okay? We're not talking about nothing else but the daily drama. I'm reaching my capacity is being hit. There was never any conversation where I felt like either of us had anything else to share other than drama. And I remember bringing it to her attention, like, I don't like that. Let's talk about something else. And she got very, very, very offended. She got very offended. And we stopped talking to each other after that. And I felt bad. Like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe, like, was it really that bad? Was it really hurting me if she talked about, her drama and stuff like that? But honestly, I'm not going to say it doesn't have to hurt you. It doesn't have to physically impact you for you to not feel, the same about a relationship. At some point, it just feels like this don't hit the same. I don't want this anymore. This doesn't feel good for me. Honestly, it's probably not good for you, but you're in it and you don't see that. And I can't force you to see that, but that doesn't mean that I have to stick around for it. You get what I'm saying? And later, I think we made up about a year later. We fell out about some other shit, so we're not friends anymore. But I didn't, neither here nor there. We're cool. We just not friends. But she did come back to me about a year later, and she was like, you know what, you're right. I was during that time period always talking my mess, and it was just like a time of my life. And we were able to speak about it in a very mature manner, but it was just like certain things. That's like having a friend where every time you talk about your accomplishments or good things that are happening in your life, you feel like they diminish it or they minimize it or they make a joke out of it, because been there too. I know that we probably at one point didn't have serious goals or serious things that were going on in our lives, or maybe we weren't chasing our dreams. But right now, at this stage in my life, that's what I am. That's the type of time I'm on. And I don't feel like you support me. That will make or break a friendship to me. That'll make me feel like, or not even just a friendship, because this isn't just exclusive to friends, but relationships in general, that matters. And a lot of it is because after a while, you start to feel like those people don't see you. They don't see you, who you are right now. They see maybe who you used to be, but you're not that anymore. You're not her anymore. So they have to be able to grow with you, and not necessarily in their personal lives, but on a friendship level, we have to meet each other equally to cultivate this relationship. And I do want to touch on the people that do see the growth in you, but hold you to a certain standard, and they make it seem like you're pretending. Or how many of y'all have had people in your lives that you're doing something new, or you're stepping out on faith and you're becoming this new person, or you're trying to go out for a goal or a dream of yours that you already have that maybe you never really tapped into, and then somebody tell you, oh girl, you ain't really like that. You're not like that for real. Oh girl, who you think you is? That is troublesome to me. Quite frankly, that's toxic to me. Cause what? Like, so now I have to stay stuck in the old version of myself because you don't see the vision? Or they make it seem like you switched up, which quite frankly, switching up is never a bad thing, in my opinion. IMO, it's not. You are allowed to change, just like I would hope that whoever's listening to this is allowing the people in their lives who come to them with something outlandish or something different or something they've never done before, and they're coming to you with it. People want to be celebrated for who they are becoming. If you can't see that or see them for that role or whatever that they're, striving for, what's your purpose in this relationship? You know what I'm saying? The most troublesome thing to me is when people in your life treat your transformation like a phase instead of a decision. They make it seem like, oh girl, you've done that, but you're finna give up. You only stay stuck with an idea for a month before you give. That type of shit bothers me. Because even if that has been true for you, the worst thing I feel like for me is to have people around me who don't give me the push towards better, that only remind me of my failures. If you have people in your lives who always remind you of maybe the times that you gave up, the mistakes you've made, the times where you decided, I don't want to do that. They have to be able to encourage you. I don't want nobody in my life. I don't want people around me. I can't hold relationships or conversations in. I can't hold conversations with people who will always hold me to my transgressions, my failures, who won't give me the push to be better, to not give up. Because sometimes it is hard. Doing this, being a human out here living life can be difficult, y'all. It can be hard to keep going sometimes. So I don't want people around me that can't see that and are always going to be like, oh, here she go again, thinking she's somebody. Because yes, I do think I'm somebody, but I need you to think that too so that you can push me. Hello. For example, let's say you're not smoking no more, you're not drinking no more, you're not hitting the club no more, whatever the case may be. Now people are hitting you with that, oh, you boring now energy. Oh, she thinks she don't want to do nothing. She's not fun no more. Like, what? You're not celebrating my new shift. Because maybe this is good for me. Maybe I wasn't making good decisions when I used to do that shit. So now that I'm not doing that anymore, I need you to celebrate the shift. And if it convicts you so much, maybe you should. I feel like if my choices in life convict you so much, it might be a sign for you to try it. Let's say you go on a healing journey. You're putting up boundaries now. You doing your big one by saying, I will put up with this and I won't put up with that. Now people think you acting brand new. No, maybe I'm just not involving myself in things that used to drain me. Clap for me, because healing is hard. Those are the type of relationships that I cannot have around me when I know that it's already hard to live life as it is now. It's already difficult. And sometimes it just makes me want to scream, like, let me grow. And I just had this conversation with my best friend maybe a few weeks ago because we had an honest conversation about this. Like, sometimes both of us hold each other to, because we've been friends for 10 plus years now. Sometimes we have the tendency to be like, girl, or we don't look at each other in our new 30-year-old bodies. Sometimes when we talk to each other about certain things, the types of reactions that we might get in other friendships of ours where people will celebrate certain things or like talk normally about certain things, we may be like, girl, who you think? Like, we do that to each other. We had to have a real sit down conversation. Like, we need to allow our relationship to grow with our age. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, it's just that easy. You need people. Because sometimes it is like a conversation because you don't know that you're doing it sometimes, or that you don't know that it bothers you. Because I used to feel like every time we talk like that and somebody in my life might say something like that, it bothered me because it's like, damn, don't you see that I'm trying? My biggest one, y'all, and this is me getting vulnerable about my life. My biggest one when it came to men and it came to dating, and people used to always be like, you so picky. Like, you can never get a man because you are so picky. Or if I stopped talking to a man that I was talking to, they'd be like, oh, what was it now, Jazz? That shit used to bother. Because wait, why does it have to be me? I am growing. Don't get me wrong. I used to stop talking to a man because I don't like his belt. I'm growing. That was 10 years ago. Great, I'm 30. But now I feel like I don't like that narrative if you see that I'm trying. Or if I'm telling you about certain situations and it's not even that. And it's things that you wouldn't even put up with. Stop holding me to my past when I'm trying to elevate my present. You're not helping. It's not helpful. And the part that I feel like we don't say out loud is that it hurts. It hurts. It hurts a lot to know that you could be trying your hardest to rewrite your narrative, trying your hardest to be a new person and reinvent yourself. But the people around you will always remind you, it's like you trying to push me back in a box. It hurts. It's hurtful. And it also hurts to outgrow people because a lot of it maybe isn't a conversation. Maybe there are some people in your life that you're not able to have this conversation with, and it does change for the better. Some people may never see you for who you are trying to be. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it also is something that you have to be prepared for because it may be necessary. And what I had to realize, a lot of it within that hurt is also grief of letting go of friendships that are rooted in time or rooted in comfortability or whatever the case may be. And not to say that when you decide to remove yourself from certain situations does it need to be a dramatic ending or a dramatic exit. Sometimes it's just a silent acceptance. You know what? This relationship is no longer beneficial to me, to my peace, to my growth. And I have to be okay with that. And while I still love you and I wish you the best, I know that me staying in this doesn't make me feel like I'm at my full potential. And that bothers me. So I'm going to exit. And like I said, it's not like you stop loving them, but you start loving yourself more. You deciding to remove yourself from relationships that don't see the new version of yourself, that doesn't allow you to just sprout, is a form of self-love. It's you saying that hurts for me to exit this relationship that I've known for so long or I've experienced. Maybe we've had a lot of experiences together. Maybe we've done a lot of things together. Maybe you were down with me, or maybe you had some real good moments where you were there for me. And that is great. And that you deciding at this stage to remove yourself doesn't mean that you are denouncing anything that you may have gained from this relationship. And that's what keeps us so stuck in things that no longer serve us, because we start feeling guilty or we start guilt tripping ourselves because we think that it takes away all of the things that they may have done for you. It doesn't. But at some point you have to start asking yourself, does this friendship pour into me, or does it feel like I'm always trying to prove that I'm not who I was? So if nobody told you today, I would just want you to know that you are allowed to change your narrative. You are allowed to rewrite your story over and over and over and over again, as many times as you can, to become who you want to be. It's not betrayal for you to evolve, but you shouldn't have to shrink yourself to be digestible for others so that they won't make fun of you, or so, they won't try to diminish you or make you feel less than or make you feel stupid for trying new things or having new experiences, so they won't make light or fun of what you may have going on in your life. You deserve friendships and relationships that grow with you, not the ones that make you feel guilty for leaving old patterns behind. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are the main character of your story. I am a main character, honey. And you are not a villain for choosing yourself. But I will say that if you have to be the villain in somebody's story, then so be it. Pray for them from a distance, love them from a distance, do what you gotta do, but choose you. I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode. If this resonated with you at all, please leave a review, rate me 5 stars, y'all. However many stars, you just love me next. But I just want to say thank you guys so much. I have been getting a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new listeners, and welcome. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I hope it spoke to you. If you want to hear a little bit about more of my thoughts that don't make it to the mic, go ahead and subscribe to my Substack. The link is in the episode show notes. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Until next time. Bye.